Hi, it's Mr. T here. In this series of videos, I'm going to go through how to answer exam questions so that you get the best out of your writing when you're sitting exams. If you find this video useful, don't forget to click a thumbs up, subscribe, and then click that bell for notification if you want to see the next video. Hi, how are things going? In this video, we're going to look at some questions at Level 2 Chemistry NCEA that focus on Zaitsev's rule. If we remember, this rule involves when we carry out an elimination reaction, choosing which carbon adjacent to the carbon that has the functional group being removed is going to have its hydrogen removed. And Zaitsev's rule says generally that the poor get poorer. So let's crack into it. Let's have a look at a couple of these exam questions and see if we can master answering exams. Good luck. Okay, so we're going to answer some questions that involve Zaitsev's rule. We will be answering the questions from an NCEA Level 2 Chemistry paper, Achievement Standard 91165. We'll be looking at 2022 and 2023 questions. If you want to have a copy of this paper as I go through it, just put the details at the top right into your browser and it will come up with the paper. Now, the question here says compound F and G both react with concentrated sulfuric acid in an elimination reaction. So, because this is an elimination reaction, we initially are going to come up with the thought that we have to remove the functional group, in this case because it's concentrated sulfuric acid. We know we're going to remove an alcohol functional group or hydroxy functional group, an OH functional group, and an adjacent carbon. Now hopefully that triggers a memory and we remember that this is actually Zaitsev's rule that we would use here if we have two different choices to choose from, or if we have an asymmetric carbon with two different choices. Now Zaitsev's rule is the poor get poorer, or to clearly state it, it is that the the hydrogen is removed from the adjacent carbon with the least hydrogens attached. So when we remove the OH functional group or a halogen functional group, the adjacent carbon with the least hydrogens, the poor one, will have its hydrogen removed. So compound F will produce two products, compound G will produce only one. Give the structural formula of the products. Okay, so quickly, compound F it's got two possible options, left and right here. Compound G has just one option because it is symmetric. So we're thinking about that as we go through our answer. So if we look at this OH functional group, the carbon that's attached to, we are going to take a hydrogen off an adjacent carbon, or the one connected to the carbon that's attached to the OH group. So on the right we have what's called the poor side, and on the left we have the rich side. So if we identify this as the poor side, this is the one that's going to happen the majority of the time. The adjacent carbon with the least number of hydrogens is the one that is the major product. So we're going to remove this hydrogen here and this OH and form a double bond between these two carbons, and we'll end up with this. This is pent-2-ene. Okay, so if this is the happens the majority of the time, or the major product, on the left hand side we have what we would denote the rich carbon, or the carbon with the most hydrogens attached that is adjacent to the carbon joined to the OH. It's going to form the minor product. So if we took the H away from here and the OH from here, this would produce this would be the product that would be produced less often. Okay, and this is pent-1-ene. When we go down to compound G, we can see here that we have an OH group attached to the central carbon, and we actually have a plane of symmetry that goes through the center here. So on the right hand side and the left hand side we have identical substituents coming off, or identical big groups coming off. So the carbon, the adjacent carbon we remove the hydrogen from, is identical, and actually if we remove it from the one on the left it would be pent-2-ene, or if we removed it from the one on the right it would be pent-2-ene. So it only has one product because it is only one possible product, and that is pent-2-ene. Okay, so we wrote down all these correct answers and we did all this work. Well, for this answer in this paper you get an achieved if you did that. But if you used all of that thinking and you can explain that, you go on to the next part of the question that is on the next slide. So the next part of the question, with reference to structures, explain why compound F produces two products or G produces one. Okay, so remember compound F was when we had that asymmetric structure. So if we were to write this here, we could say, well, this reaction is an elimination reaction. An OH and an H group attached to an adjacent carbon is removed. So I've really just put down here a introduction to say what's happening. And so the next thing we're going to say is compound F is asymmetric. Okay, so if we look at compound F, it's asymmetric. So when we remove the OH, we have two possible choices. On carbon 1, there are 3 hydrogens attached, or carbon 2, there are 2 hydrogens attached. So depending on where we take the hydrogen from carbon 1 or carbon 2, we're going to get 2 different products. So if it's removed from the adjacent carbon with the less hydrogens attached, the majority of the time, so that's carbon 3, the other carbon, that's carbon 1, loses the H the minority of the time. Hence, there are 2 possible options, the major and the minor. Compound G, however, is symmetric. So the hydrogen atom will always be removed from the second carbon because we will number it from the side that we remove it from. So it's always going to produce the product pent-2-ene. Okay, so for the answers here, what we will have is, if we can state that there are 2 ways that H2O or H and OH can be removed from the first one, we have an achieved mark. If we explain that minor and major products, so if we say that there will be 2 possible, a major and a minor, but we missed a little bit, and we have the correct structures from the previous question, we have a mirror. If we link the symmetry and asymmetry of the alcohol to the number of reactions, that is, if it's asymmetric, it will have 2 possible different products. If it's symmetric, it will only have 1 possible product. Then we get another merit. If there's a full explanation that has the correct structures, talks about the symmetry, and explains in detail about the major and the minor, we get the excellence grade here. Oh, wait a minute. So the excellence grade is just for the major and minor, and then we have another excellence grade for why there are 2 different. So that's the symmetry. So if we explain the symmetry and asymmetry and symmetry correctly, and we give reference by saying the carbons that they come off, then we will indeed get 2 excellence, and that will get us an excellence mark for the whole question. Okay, let's have a look at 2023 question. So this is also going to be Zaitsev's rule. I just put the red bit in here. We have this compound hexan-2-ol, and we're told that when we add concentrated sulfuric acid, 2 products, E and F, will form. Very similar to the other questions. We know this is going to be an elimination reaction, so we should say that. We can see here that we have the OH off the second carbon, and we can take the hydrogen either off the first carbon or the third carbon. Noticing that the third carbon is the one with the least hydrogens, that's adjacent to the carbon with the functional group, and the first carbon is the one with the most hydrogens, adjacent to the carbon with the functional group. So this is an elimination reaction. We're removing an OH group and an H, or a water molecule in total. And the H is attached to an adjacent carbon that's removed. Remember, it's always adjacent. We're only looking at the carbon directly attached to the carbon with the functional group. This is asymmetric, so we will get a different product depending on which side of this carbon we take it from. There are 2 possible options here. We can either take it from 1 or we can take it from 3. Now, if it is removed from the adjacent carbon with the least hydrogens attached, that is 3, okay, that will happen the majority of the time because it has because it has the least hydrogens. We are going to produce hex-2-ene. If we take it away from compound 1, the minority of the time will produce produce hex 1-ene. Hence, there are two options, hex 1-ene and hex 2-ene. So if we go to mark this, the first things is, can we identify that this molecule is asymmetric? Yes, we did. And we used the word asymmetric. Did we assign correctly which one was going to be major and minor? Yes. Or we could have stated that how we could identify major and minor products. The next thing we do is, did we explain why two products are formed? So this is more detailed. Did we say that because there are two different options, we will form two different products? Did we explain how the major and minor products can be identified? And the last thing is justify why two products are formed and how to identify major and minor products. So when they say identify, I guess they're using the wrong word here. What they're saying, how can did we assign the correct product to be the major and the correct product to be the minor? That's what they mean by identify here. So if I go back and explain this here for the merit, it's explain how major and minor products can be assigned. Okay, so how did I come up with the major product being hex 2-ene? Can I explain why the minor product is hex 1-ene? And that's how these questions are marked. And hopefully you've practiced some of these answers and you'll be well prepared for any future exams. Good luck. Okay, if you've got to this part of the video, you've obviously watched all the examples that I had on those 3 questions. Hopefully this has fortified your understanding of geometric isomers and you are now well prepared to go and attack that exam. Good luck, and if you found this video useful, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and look out for new videos that I might put up by clicking that bell. See you later.